Hey guys, Pro1701 here, and today we are going to be ranking the theatrical Batman films. Now, we are just going to be ranking live action films, so I'm not going to have like Mask of the Phantasm or anything on here, but we are going to be doing the live action theatrical Batman films. And I'm also going to be including like Batman vs. Superman and Justice League, Basically, right now we have 9 films. I do this kind of in celebration for the Flash movie coming with not one but 2 Batmans and the new Robert Pattinson Batman movie. I'm excited for both of those. But going off the ones we've already gotten, we have 9. We have the 3 from the 8 or the 4 from the 80s and 90s, the Christopher Nolan trilogy, and then the latest 2. And in 9th place, I have Justice League. Now, I've only seen the Joss Whedon version. I don't really care to see the Zack Snyder version one. I'm just not a big fan of Zack Snyder's filmography, with the exception of Watchmen. I like Watchmen a lot, but I don't really care for Zack Snyder's films. I didn't really hate Justice League. I just didn't really like Justice League. It was very for me. I've only watched it the one time. I do like Batman in it, which is nice. I like Ben Affleck's Batman a lot. I like that kind of world-weary, been around the block, Dark Knight Returns. His morals aren't quite what they were when he started. He's in more of a gray area now. He kind of doesn't quite toe his no-kill line as close as he used to, just because, in 20 years he's lost so much that he's just an older, more battle-weary, less moral Batman. I like this take. I like the idea of a darker Batman, a Dark Knight Returns Batman, where he kind of compromises on things sometime. I like him in the movie, but the most of the movie I don't really care for. Let's see. Number 8 is Batman and Robin. I don't actually hate this film. I actually had a girl I dated one time. When I asked her what her favorite Batman movie was, she said this one, which naturally my reaction was something like, what? And then she explained it to me. She goes, well, it's funny. She viewed it as a comedy. And I get that. If you view Batman and Robin as like a big budget take on the old Adam West series, then yeah, it works. It's hilarious. If you go into it with the mindset that it's purposely done to be that silly and funny and nonsensical, works perfectly. Arnold Schwarzenegger is Mr. Freeze. It's hilarious. Ice skates in their bat shoes, bat credit card. I mean, it's ridiculous and silly, but if you approach it from that mindset, it's a pretty good movie. I actually like a couple of the scenes in it. They're touching. The whole subplot with Alfred is nice and touching. I love the scene at the end when Batman and Mr. Freeze are talking and Batman's asking him, I've got someone who's dying, da-da-da-da, you help cure stage 1. I'm asking you, doctor, will you help me? And, and he does. Freeze is like, take 2 and call me in the morning. It's a touching little scene. I actually thought it was well written and well acted. And then I actually like George Clooney's Bruce Wayne. His Batman I'm not really impressed with, but I actually really liked his Bruce Wayne. I actually think George Clooney made a really good Bruce Wayne. Just not a good Batman. Number 7 on the list is Batman vs. Superman. Again, I don't think this movie is great, but it has some great moments in it, and I really like Ben Affleck's Batman for all the reasons I previously stated. He's very much influenced by Dark Knight Returns. His costume very much influences the Dark Knight Returns version of Batman. I really love the warehouse scene, too, when he's taking down all the criminals. It's very much modeled kind of after the Arkham games. To me, that's one of the best scenes in all of the Batman movies, when he's just taking them out in the warehouse, from the shadows and everything and getting the drop on them. I really like that scene. And then I actually like the fight between Batman and Superman in it. Again, a lot like Dark Knight's Returns. And I love kind of the nods to Excalibur in it, because I love the 1981 Excalibur a lot. So all the little nods into it I really enjoyed. And I even enjoyed the Martha scene. I know most people don't, but I actually really liked it and found it very touching. So while I don't think the most of the movie, it has good points, and I really like Ben Affleck's version of Batman. He's a lot like the Peter Capaldi of Batman. Of Batman, I should say. Whereas Peter Capaldi is a really good doctor in Doctor Who just kind of had an average era. I think Ben Affleck is a great Batman who's just never truly gotten the Batman movie he deserves. You know, he's been stuck in these kind of not so great Batman movies. I really wish he'd gotten his own Batman movie where he really could have had a chance to shine. Number 6 on the list is Dark Knight Rises. And from here up, they're all good. I like all of them. I really enjoy The Dark Knight Rises. It's a good cap-off, I think, to the Dark Knight trilogy. Even if it doesn't quite live up to the first two, I still think it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I absolutely love, Tom Hardy as Bane. I really like this version of Bane. I love the way he talks with that voice. I absolutely love that voice. I really love the South Park episode that parodies that a lot. But I do enjoy everything going on. It's really got this whole high stakes vibe going to it. I really like this version of Catwoman. The kind of twist at the end with a real villain I saw coming a mile away. But I still enjoy the movie. It's a great realistic take on Batman to an extent. Number 5 on the list is Batman Forever. I actually really like Batman Forever, and I think a lot of people forget that Batman Forever was a huge hit when it came out. Batman Forever has been kind of retroactively hurt by Batman and Robin because people tend to associate those movies together because they have a kind of a similar style. But Batman Forever, when it came out in '95, was a big hit. I remember the whole summer being dedicated to it. Big deal. Kiss from a Rose by Seal was a big song. I remember seeing commercials and toys and Happy Meals. Big deal. And that's why they rushed out Batman and Robin just, I think, like 2 years later, 2 or 3 years later, 2 years later. And I think because Batman and Robin is so bad, it kind of makes Batman Forever tainted and by association. But at the time, it was popular, and I enjoy it. I like Val Kilmer's Batman, but his Bruce Wayne is terrible. He's kind of the opposite of George Clooney. I don't like Val's Bruce Wayne at all. He's kind of a dick, honestly. But I like his Batman. I'm cool with his Batman. Chris O'Donnell as Robin is... I really didn't wish... I kind of wish they hadn't brought in Robin. I just felt like he didn't need Robin, but he's... Tommy Lee Jones' Two-Face is fine for that movie. And Tommy Lee Jones could probably play a pretty serious Two-Face in a totally different type of movie. Tommy Lee Jones is a great actor. But for that movie, he's fine. I really love Jim Carrey as the Riddler. I really love Jim Carrey as the Riddler in this movie. Because his Riddler fits this type of movie perfectly. Now, again, if this was a more modern movie, naturally we'd have a more serious take on the Riddler, like what it looks like we're going to be getting in the Batman. But for this style of movie, Jim Carrey's Riddler is perfect. I love watching him on the screen. He's hilarious. He has so much energy in everything he does. It really is just Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey. And he's so much fun to watch. He's my favorite part of the movie. He's just so good in it. Number 4 on the list is Batman Returns, Michael Keaton's second outing. I really like Batman Returns. Ooh, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman is still my favorite Catwoman. And probably, I think for a lot of people, this could be the first, like, sexual crush young boys had on a woman. Not just an innocent, like, little puppy crush, but I mean, you looked at her in that cat suit, and you were like, You know, 10 or 11 years old, 12 years old. I think this could have been a bunch of kids' first real sexual crush on someone. Because she just looks so seductive in that. And the way she walks, the way she talks. I really like Michael. Again, Michael Keaton is really good in this one. He's not quite eccentric as Bruce Wayne as he is in the first one. But he's still really good as Batman, really good as Bruce Wayne. I love Danny DeVito's Penguin and the way they made him look. He just looks creepy and like something you wouldn't trust. You know, he really does look deformed, whereas you could see where society hasn't treated him right because of it and why his family would have abandoned him when he was an infant. They really make him grotesque. And that scene when he bites the guy's nose still creeps me out. I used to have trouble watching the movie just because that looks so real. I was like, ugh. And then, of course, it's also got Christopher Walken in it. And who doesn't love some Christopher Walken? Love some Christopher Walken. And then I like the whole Christmas setting with the snow and everything. I really, really, really enjoy Batman Returns. Number 3, Batman Begins. I think this is a great origin story. I like that they didn't go with the Joker right off the bat. I love seeing the story of how he becomes Batman. I love the more grounded take on Ra's al Ghul. I love the fact it has Liam Neeson in it because I like him as an actor. Christian Bale is good as Batman here. I like the bat suit he wears in this one. this Batsuit is my favorite of all the Nolan trilogy Batsuits. I don't really like the Batsuit he has in the other two as much. I like this one better. I don't really care for the panely pieces. This one just looks better to me. I just really enjoy it. It's a very realistic take on Batman. I love when he's taking out the thieves in the kind of warehouse loading ground things. That's really, really good. You know, where are you? Here. I love that. It's just a really good, grounded origin story for Batman. Number 2 on the list is The Dark Knight. This is such a good movie. Heath Ledger's Joker is just legend here. He is so good. I love this very different take on the Joker. I love the way he plays the role with every little nuance to the character, the voice he talks with, the way he has that little twitch with his tongue. You know, everything seems so well planned by Heath Ledger. Even the stuff like the tongue twitch, which could just be a little, tick, like a Tourette's tick or something. I love that. I mean, the Joker just kind of steals the show here, even though Christian Bale is still great. Aaron Eckhart is great as Two-Face, and watching him turn into Two-Face, the makeup they use to make him Two-Face, everything done with Harvey Dent and Two-Face is gold in this movie. I loved it. I really liked it. I thought the movie was good. I didn't really like Maggie Gyllenhaal getting killed after being such an important character in the first one, even though it was a different actress in the first one. I kind of felt a little let down that they had built up her character so much in the first one, then she gets killed off in the second one. I know that's supposed to give it weight, but I don't really feel the weight. I just hate that they killed her. And of course I like Michael Caine as Alfred, because Michael Caine's always awesome. It's just a really good movie. It's definitely the best, realistically grounded Batman movie. Number 1 on my list, though, is Batman 1989. I love this movie. I love the kind of surreal look to it, too. You can tell it doesn't quite take place in the real world, even though it's still a very serious movie. It really is, I think, the first super serious comic book movie where it kind of got away from, the Christopher Reeve Superman stuff, which was still good, the first two. And a lot of the other movies coming out then were still good, but this is the first one I think that really got serious with it and made it darker and made it a little more grounded, at least for the time especially. I love Batman 89. Michael Keaton is my favorite live-action Batman. He is gold in this. Again, I love how eccentric his Bruce Wayne is here. Little things like when he's eating and he's like, I don't think I've ever been in this room before. And when he gets shot right here on the jacket and it doesn't even faze him, he just keeps walking. The way his Bruce Wayne acts, I really like. I love his Batman. I love the fact he doesn't have to do the crazy voice just to modulate and change his voice. I love his bat suit. That's still my favorite bat suit. It's just iconic to me. Even though it's not the most practical since he can't turn his neck, I love just the flashes of yellow here and on the utility belt. That Batmobile is my favorite Batmobile. I love the 1989 Batmobile. It's just a thing of beauty. I love Danny Elfman's score. I love the fact that so much of this movie takes place at night, and it looks so good on the screen, the way they do the night scenes. Jack Nicholson's Joker, Jack Nicholson's Joker just kind of steals the show here. He's so good. I never really compare Nicholson's Joker and Ledger's Joker because they're vastly different forms of Joker. They're both going for very different things, and they both pull it off masterfully. And I absolutely think Nicholson kills it here. It's probably my favorite Jack Nicholson role. He's just so good in this. I love it. Again, it has this slightly comic book feel while still being realistic. I love the gothic look of the city. It's Gotham City, and it looks very gothic. Again, it has this it's realistic while still being a bit surreal, a bit fantasy, which I like about it. It's a perfect pairing, and I absolutely love Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent in this because I just really love me some Billy D. Williams. Plus, he's great in the role. Batman 89, I love the way it sounds. I love the way it looks. I love the camera work. I love the actors. I love the pacing. Batman 1989 is not only my favorite Batman movie of all time, it is my favorite superhero movie of all time. I can just rewatch it again and again. I even own the soundtrack on CD with Prince's music because I really like Prince. Prince's normal music and Prince's Batman soundtrack music. Prince is amazing. So that's another little bonus. So that is me ranking my favorite Batman films. I would like to know what you think. Do you agree with my list? Do you disagree with my list? It's all subjective. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon if you like what I do and would like to support what I do. There is a link to that down in the description below. My entry-level tier is only $2 a month if you want to support what I do. Most importantly, though, I forgot to mention I love in the old Batman movies, the 89, the 92, the 90s ones, it has Michael Goff playing Alfred. The celestial toy maker himself is playing Alfred, so they get bonus points for that too. Anyway, most importantly, thank you for watching.